Hello everyone, Namaste. So I had quite lots of hair to manage. So, okay, where are we? How is everybody feeling today? So, who had the question? Anybody have any question? If you like to share, please do. Who? What did he say? Did I promise to talk about what did I talk about? No, there was a different concept, like the relationship of sexuality or the physical relationship with the sex versus brahmacharya and yoga. So sometime I think the question came from somebody who is practicing yoga, have a very confusing practices, messages, have practiced a lot of tantric yoga. Tantric yoga? I don't even know what they call it. Tantra yoga. So sometime human mind have a information that is not sufficient, or please give me a second, I'm not happy with this chair. Okay. Shall I start back again? If you practice yoga, there's always a question comes along when you talk about Patanjali Yoga Sutra. There's one called subject the Brahmacharya. I think somebody is waiting to come in this out. You let the minutes work, please. Anybody at YouTube, you can also ask any question you like, as well as from Zoom, you can also ask questions. So we were talking about brahmacharya, and when you translate the word brahmacharya, it goes directly always to celibacy. Celibacy. Sometimes people say no sex, or then they say that if that is the case, why in the yoga is a tantra, and there's so much conversation about that topic. So there is difference between brahmacharya and abstaining. So the energy is always inside the body for sexual activities, sexuality, or your reproductive organs, basically. You have to use the energy, like when you're not meditating, you're looking outside, or when you're not with yourself, you are with the ears, you constantly engage externally. Similarly, if that energy, your sexual energy, not maintained or controlled, understood, or you develop the ability to withdraw the energetic force, it also leaks. Yoga actually helps to that perspective. Like there is a medical term, so psychological term you can call it. Why do you need to maintain the Brahmacharya. It's not the question what is the Brahmacharya, why the Brahmacharya is so important. Focus and the tendency of mind for a short-term pleasure. Usually, in a day-to-day life, if we don't practice yoga, but nowadays yoga is also subject to a pleasure. They get a little kick in their brain. Oh, I was able to see a little blue light. So that is again short-term pleasure. Yoga was not subject to a short-term pleasure. But when your senses are indulged constantly into a short-term pleasure, your pineal gland does not get awakened. Till your pineal gland awakens, you don't really get to see the spirituality. It's not about sex, it's about short-term pleasure, immediate usage of the senses to get a gratification. So, brahmacharya, brahmacharya means your acharan. Acharan means your actions are in the direction to understand your Brahma. That is brahmacharya. So, when practicing yoga, you need to remember it is not about achieving some siddhi. It is not about achieving a certain goal, but it's about always maintaining your actions, your energy in the line to understand yourself, in the understanding of your Brahma, Brahma Acharya. At the time, they used to have four Brahmas in Brahmacharya ashram. At the time where you're developing the knowledge, understanding about yourself, developing understanding about senses, everything that you understand, then you can choose to remain maintain the spiritual path, or you go back to Grasthashram. But even in some of the literatures I've come to know, even they say you can be in a Grasthashram, but can be a brahmachari. And that's where the contradicts happen. If the brahmachari was supposed was the meaning of being a celibate, completely restrained from sex, means that's not possible. You have grasthashram means you're having a household life. So there is a requirement of your opposite partner. So literally that means you are even in the grasthashram is the toughest because that time your attachment grows to your second person who lives with you or to our children, but you should never lose the forget, you never lose the focus or get distracted from understanding journey of understanding of yourself. So brahmacharya, even you can practice it when you live in a household, but if your life is only about short-term pleasure, then it will be difficult to understand yourself because your pineal gland will not be able to stimulate and you will not be able to understand the energy flow inside the body. So energy will constantly leak. It's not about activity, but it's more to do with how to channel that energy. When you practice yoga, what yoga does opens the channels inside, so your all the orders in your body automatically start traveling to Vastu, Kram chakra, or develop the enough willpower so you can withdraw your desire or your senses from it. It's difficult for day-to-day life because there's so much toxicity. You ask people to just sit down, quietly meditate, not open your eyes. We will not far away to restrain and refrain from sexual activities. If you look back in where I'm from, the culture of Sanatana Dharma, word celibacy does not exist. It is actually, if you're looking from the concept, how the people have used the word celibacy does not exist. Most of our acharyas, basically our teachers, they all had partners, they all had children. So obviously they were not celibate. All our gods in a Hindu culture, they all had partners. Obviously, they had a intimate relationship to produce children. Even the Seva Adi Yogi, but what they just defined it, had a children. They miraculously, if there was a science was evolved at the time to make the babies for the divine beings for the test due, there is a possibility. But I don't really personally. It is no offense to any religious belief structure. But our acharyas was not celibate either. So the celibate concept came to unstabilize and demoralize the people of yoga. But they actually taken away from the real point that was Brahmacharya. So every action is in the direction of yourself, like that to understand yourself, to evolve yourself. That's what the Brahmacharya is supposed to be. If any action you are doing that taking you away from your self-realization, you abstain from it. That not just only include tobacco sex, it also includes tobacco gambling. If your mind gets pleasure, you get high, taking drugs, abstain from it. That anything to do with karma, karma is a energy of attachment toward lust. That is the karma. If your indulgence of your senses is getting developed inside the body, you must abstain from it. And that will be classified, you are not working in the direction of your self realization or understanding the nature of yourself. Anything that takes you away from understanding the nature of yourself, you abstain from it. Try to understand it, not suppress it. There's one word to it. Not to suppress it, but to understand it. How can you understand it? By understanding the body, understanding the operations of the body, the metaphysics of the body, understanding the energetic current flow of the body. If it is the organ in the body, it is a reproductive organ. It has its own purpose for the cosmic existence. I don't think Brahmacharya means celibacy. Brahmacharya does not classify to refrain. You can still be a brahmachari and be in a grastashram. You can still practice yoga and be in a grastashram. So lots of confusions are there, my friend Joao. So when you talk about brahmacharya, even you hanging out with your boyfriends, you understand, Joao? You yourself, as a man, hanging out with your general friends, but their influence is affecting your senses to stimulate the energy inside you that taking you away from doing actions to understand your nature. You abstain from it. So that is a kind of hardcore practitioner of a. It's not about you impose the rule on you and you bury inside. It has to be the naturally developed inside you. You try to control the desire, it will be hard. But if you practice yoga, asanas regularly, there's many asanas in the yoga practice that automatically takes away the energy from it. The whole energy can completely transcended. If the energy can be transcended or though can be transformed, there is no desire, there is no urge. And sometimes you might fail to do that, but does not mean you feel bad about it. You continue practicing. If it's a it most of the things in society, why they say to abstain from it, it creates jealousy, creates frustration, creates anger, creates emotional instability. If you can rise above that, which is might be very difficult. So even the lots of tantra practice involve, according to modern science, modern tantra. But tantra basically means technique, egoless state to reach during your sexual activity. But you can also reach that through the meditation. And meditation is your long-term pleasure, but sexuality is your short-term pleasure. We having the same similar experience. One is where you losing your power. One actually you transcend and gaining the power. So if the activity of sex is a short-term pleasure, but if you refrain it, understand it, you channel the energy, you can go into meditation. Pineal gland can give you greater pleasure and completely can transform your whole life. So awakening the pineal gland will require to refrain and meditate, and that gives you the focus, understanding, awareness, and the ability to channel. Otherwise, just intellectual information you listen, read, and talk about. But if you can develop the ability to transcend, it's only possibility if your pineal gland is open. What we call people call it a hallucination. Modern science says pineal gland is absolutely not useful subject to the body because that they want to dumb it down. They want to make sure it actually not opens to many people. So actually you remain engaged in the body. Indulgence. Pineal gland awakens, you awaken from indulgence. And that's why most people can't go into the meditation because they stay pituitary gland, other different parts of the body, or other different chakras. But once your crown chakra open, it's a different ballgame. So if you really like to grow into the yoga, and if you really like to grow into the spirituality, understand your true nature, understand your creation. It's not just only about, okay, I want to understand my purpose. If your concept is just, I want to understand my purpose, what is the purpose of my life? Different story. You want to understand how my body operates, different purpose. But if you want to understand who actually you are, yes, you need to go a bit more beyond your physical senses. Your senses are distribution, but you are not outside, you are inside. Once you can take it inside you, then you get to see what you see outside is inside the same. Outside is just only the projection of your inner self. So whatever you see outside is actually not real. Give you an example. You think that when you have any intimate relationship, you get pleasure from outside that person. Not really. You get pleasure from yourself. That's why we have in Sanskrit there's a word called sambhog. It's not called sex. Sambhog means uh, reaching to the equanimity or the coherent of the utilize the bhog means enjoying the moment of equanimity. So again, Ida and Pingla get both balance. Similarly, they made it look like it had to be to transcend the energy of Kundalini, it needs to have a female. Actually, not. The unity of male and female inside a body, but now Kundalini practitioners, they abuse that energy. They see it, okay, you awaken the Kundalini. If you have a female partner, or if you are a female practitioner, you need to have a male partner to awaken the Kundalini. All you do, you killing the Kundalini. Kundalini is not awakening. You have consumed it. So, but if you can utilize the meditation powers and the male and female energy inside you should meet together. And that's what Kundalini can awaken. Now, an external meeting of two genders will awaken the Kundalini, but meeting of the two energies, male and female energy inside you, will awaken the Kundalini. So, lots of misinformation. Did that make sense to you? So, Brahmacharya is the every action or developing the awareness of your activities to doing the actions or the achar or dinacharya, your lifestyle, that is in the direction to understand your Brahma or to maintain the awareness of Brahma or your Atman or yourself. How would you like to say it? Brahma is also classified as a seed of creation. So try to understand the seed of your creation, like understanding the nature of your deep inner intelligence. So you can understand the cosmic intelligence. Brahma is also creator of the universe. So basically your universe got created from Brahma. To understand yourself is important. So there is a concept of the Brahma, which is the deity God, but is a Brahma is your inner self. It's slightly different to a Brahma and a Brahma. So when I say Brahma, is your inner self, the higher self, your soul or your spirit, you can call it. Did that make sense to everyone, or is too confusing? So it is not about celibacy, my friend. Celibacy in yoga is not a concept. Celibacy is a concept of religion, not dharma. Celibacy is a subject of Christianity. So the most of them remain unstabilized. And lots of things came along later on. People have modified it, imposed it, suppressed it. So to if energy is flowing inside you, you have not developed enough ability to transcend it. What are you going to do? You are going to abuse it. So that's why you can see lots of things in the Christian churches, nuns, and all the monasteries. Those things happens. Most monasteries you can find it. If the person who's practicing brahmacharya have not developed the ability to transcend that energy, they will either do a self pleasure or they look for somewhere to abuse somebody. So, in yogic practices, it was not about suppression. Celibacy means basically you suppressing the energy flow of your body, but it's better to develop the awareness to transcend it. Other question anybody have? There is any more question? Go ahead, sir. Please do. Okay. So the it's very nice question. I will repeat the question. I am a atheist. You see the word is saying, I am atheist. You already believe in it. Okay. I am being an atheist. There is a label. I am being a Hindu. I am being a Sanatani. So there is already a label, my dear. You are really not an atheist. I can guarantee you that much. You might like to believe as much as you like, and based on your past experience that might have create different belief system. Belief system is a belief system, doesn't matter what it is. So, as you claim that I am an atheist, practicing yoga, can I be able to understand yoga not believing the Hindu gods that in yoga? Is that right? So will I be able to progress in the yoga if I don't believe in Hindu gods? Will I not progress? There's lots of questions. There's lots of people, even from a different religion, who might practice yoga. They suffer from same problem, psychological. There was a guy I remember, very dear friend of mine. He was a Muslim, as well as there was another guy who was a Jew and a Christian as well. I now met all three of them in London, and they agree what I say, but we like to follow it. But religion, what we have grown up with since a small child, it comes in the way. It said you are betrayed. You are betraying your religion, you betrayed your parents, you betrayed whatever you have learned. Past becomes such a great burden. Past becomes such a great burden. How the day you can drop the past, you will progress in yoga no matter what religion you from. Without understanding the demigods of the Hindu religion, point one, yoga is a Sanatana Dharma. Yoga is a Sanatana Dharma. A Hindu Dharma does not say that you have to be a Hindu to understand yoga or to grow into yoga. Hindu Dharma is basically the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is a family. The combined set of embracing, inclusive, not exclusive. You need to be a Hindu to believe in the gods and not in the gods, or you don't even have to give up your atheism to believe in the gods or to be a Hindu. You can be an atheist, can be a Hindu. Who cares? It's about a Sanatana Dharma is about understanding yourself, not the gods. The, the day you understand Sanatana Dharma or Hindu Dharma does not really care about much about God, cares about you. Do you understand who you are? You can understand God. Yoga is the first step to understand yourself. The day you understand yourself, you will understand the gods. But can you progress in yoga without believing in Hindu God? Of course. I was growing up, I was practicing yoga without even unaware of many gods. But I grew in yoga, I understood in yoga from very early days. I got to know about gods when I was 10-year old. Before that, I didn't really know much about gods. I was only interested in playing in the park, which is basically outside the village. You get to see the rituals, but rituals are necessary. Maybe it is necessary to keep the community together. Maybe it is necessary to infuse the negativity in the society or to uplift people's spirit, because when you do the process, you burn a lot of herb, you burn a lot of energy frequencies get created through the mantras. But that doesn't mean you become a converted. You can still be atheist and practice yoga and believe in Hindu gods. Does that make sense to you? So please clear your doubt. Okay. No sense to you. Okay. So you saying the statue or the ideal of Hanuman, and people go and put the food in front of a statue, it makes no sense to you. You are looking intellectually. If you can look a bit more deeper into the intention of the person, you will understand it. Somebody have reached, nowadays people do it as a ritualistically. Okay, you have developed so much devout devotion, love inside you that actually even you can see the God, the goodness and possibility even in a stone. If you're looking from atheist point of view, if you can reach to that level of devotion, that level of love, you will understand the purpose of putting the food in front of the statue of Hanuman. Does that make sense? It is a reflection of a one person's love, compassion. But do you know what else happened after that food? That food got given to the ants. The ants don't go have a quick kitchen. They don't really grow cultivation, especially nowadays with all the chemicals and pesticides. They need to make some food for the wildlife as well. So they have a many other benefit indirectly for it. But as a spiritual benefit, it's not about putting the food. You can put the massive amount of food, but if you don't have intention inside, it is irrelevant. It have not done anything. But when you offer a food, it creates a devotion, it creates a sense of a softness inside you. It creates a sense of a feeling, feeling of kindness, feeling of egolessness. And that state itself is beneficial to many people. So it is not offering the food, but you have to see what else is happening inside their intelligence, what else is happening inside their emotions, how much bhav, the consciousness they have of love. Some people, when they offer the food to a stone, their tears are rolling out of joy. You think they are sad because they're giving food away? Not really. There is so much joy because they feel melted inside. The barriers of ego have lowered. Judgment have been lowered inside. They don't feel any more superior. Or they become submissive to the creation. Not just only to the stone, but become submissive to the creation, the energy frequency in the body. So in that moment, your ego bar is so low, it even creates a sensation of overwhelming joy inside you, compassion, kindness. So intention is very important, my dear. The second part, if you have evolved your awareness to the point where actually you can feel the energy even in a stone. You understand? Even you can feel the energy in a stone. You can feel the creative energy inside the stone. Obviously, you have reached to the different level. There is you have become a one with a cosmic vibration. It's not about just offering the food. Sometimes when we, from a not knowing practice, people go and try to analyze it, make a look at how dumb people is. They giving food to a stone, and the food is not going to eat it, giving water to a stone. But if you're doing it out of as a act of ritual, it's a different story. If you're doing it with intention and creating the bhav inside you, immersing into the practice to creating the softness inside you, and keeps you away from the negativity, I don't think there should be any harm in doing so. As you have your belief system, they have their belief system to be remain strong. If that makes sense? So you don't need to worry about it because you will become a Hindu if you believe in Hanuman or you practicing yoga because Hanuman yoga have Hanuman asana. Hanuman represent power. Hanuman represent strength. Hanuman represent the willpower. There is lots of qualities of Hanuman. So actually, you're not only worshipping the statue, but you try to uh, obtain those qualities inside you as well. So it is about the qualities, not the what. If you look at it from intellectual point of view. Okay. So anybody else have any question? Please do. You have to start somewhere, my friend. You have to start somewhere. Remember, tamasic nature is essential. Everybody has tamasic nature. You're only evolving from tamasic. Your base is tamasic nature. As your question was, is lots of people practicing yoga? Do they really reach to the level of softness? I know lots of people who've been doing yoga for ages. They still do hard drugs, my friend. They despite they talk about Patanjali Yoga Sutra, do they really follow it? Probably not. They're still looking for a little kick and or looking for a little high. So if you practice yoga, you just only act in the doing through the motion of asanas. It is a habit of the mind. One day it may reach something may click inside the body. Maybe one day your pineal gland may open. You may get to experience something extraordinary in the body that it may transcend you. Or maybe not happen this lifetime, maybe next lifetime. But the concept is you continue practicing, not to get disheartened by it. If you don't feel softness, there's lots of people. I remember in one of the yoga studio, they represent a very good quality and everything, despite their values and ethos are very high, but they sell eggs. I don't really understand what you got to do with yoga studio selling eggs. But you talk about non-cruelty, you talk about other aspect of it, but it is there. So what you talk about? There are lots of people, they talk about, they go to lecture, don't smoke. They come outside, they themselves smoking. Like most of the doctors, you go to see a doctor, please can you stop smoking? 2 hours later, you go see the same doctor, they have puffing away. So it's just a action. If it's just a ritual, it creates a little the momentary short-term pleasure there and then. It doesn't have a lasting effect on you. The time you start creating the softness inside you, it creates a long-term pleasure. It's like you can maintain the softness, you can maintain the peace, you can maintain the tranquility, you can maintain the compassion, you can maintain that love, and you can maintain the freedom of the body for a longer period of the time. If you can really connect with it. If you cannot connect with it, it is just momentary while you are on the yoga mat. Once you off the mat, out of sight, out of mind. So, is it absolutely possible? But it all depends what is your intention is with practicing yoga. Most people go to practice yoga, they want to lose weight, they want to look good, there is no harm with that. Absolutely, you should look well. You should look perfectly, physically healthy, mentally healthy. Also, the whatever you like to achieve from it. But again, not that's not just only the end. That's not the yoga. It's only a physical yoga. There's more to yoga. Dive a bit more deeper. And everybody start. I know some people who just not even interested in savasana. They want to come in, practice yoga, go. If you tell them lie down for 5 minutes, they roll the mat, they get up. We don't judge them. We let them be. We try to teach them a meditation, they're not interested. They're not interested in pranayama. I breathe all the time. Why do I need to do a breathing exercise? I've been breathing all the time. But one day, it may trigger inside. They maybe sit down for 5 minutes and relax their life. But you start somewhere and you build up. You can never go off the road, my friend. I can guarantee you that much. Only day you will go off the road from this body, that day you get either get burned down or get buried. That time you are off the road. If you practicing yoga and something happened inside you, an awakening taking place, if you don't have a guidance, if you don't have a teacher, or if you don't have a support of a master, then yes, there is a possibility you can make a mistake. I give you a simple example. In yoga, there's lots of technique you practice, and there's precautions to it as well. Like you doing in savasana for a long period of time, your body is relaxed, and your breath is going really, really almost to the non-existence. If somebody comes along, plays the loud music in the room, it will frighten you to the life. So that should not be done. Then you will create a psychological fear inside. Every time you will go to the savasana practice, you will always be scared. So something good have taken place, something bad can also happen while supposed to happen good. Other example I gave it to you, you are meditating, and you experience a moment of no body experience, you feel subtle body. You get frightened, really frightened. And you literally come out grabbing the chair, grabbing the body because you get scared. Again, a guidance, understanding, need a teacher. Otherwise, or you are so surrendered to it, doesn't matter what happened, like Buddha. I want to attain enlightenment, even I die. You sit down. I'm not going to move. So that's what happened to Buddha. He just lay down and say, okay, I'm not going to move till I get enlightenment. Even I not go eat until I get enlightenment. Even Scruton when he got enlightenment. Or maybe he never got enlightenment. He just wake up and say, okay, I'm fed up with it. I need to eat some food to go for a walk. I wasn't there at the time. I'm just only judging, which I don't even have authority to do so. Once you understand it, would you still stay there? Probably not. You will get up and do what needs to be done. That's what Buddha did. So, but a human behavior is something you get to experience, you indulge in it even. You indulge even in the goodness of it. Even you got to know yourself, then what you do. You indulge in the knowing. That should not be the case. Because the moment you start indulging, it creates a complexity of the creation of the mind you no longer understand anymore. So it can be very dangerous if you're practicing without guidance, if you're practicing something very important happened to you while you're doing the practice, something happened, you don't know, yeah, you can make mistakes. Like example, I had a friend, he read about it, you do a headstand for 1 hour, 2 hour, he developed it optic, no problem. He basically lost his eyesight, very poor. So it takes a time to recover. You can recover it, but it takes time. The person I remember, lots of people go to the India. We do the many different practices, and sometimes people go. Michael one day went to have chocolate cake, despite his stomach was completely clean. And people go have a cup of coffee. They are meditating or vipassana course about this time. They finish vipassana. They go would have a quite a lot of indulgence. There was a guy from Canada, I remember it. I forgot the name of the person, but he spent his a good 3 weeks cleaning his body, getting healthier, changing his lifestyle. He out of the door, he smoked non-stop. The driver was telling me he smoked from the Yogiville all the way up to Chennai airport, one after the other, because he was craving for it. Doesn't matter. His spirituality is over 3 weeks. That's it. So again, my friend, it's not the point. Something good can happen, also bad can happen. Depends on the willpower. Depends on the guidance. Depends on the what actually do you want from the practice. Your intention lays the foundation. What is your purpose of the practice? If you're practicing because your girlfriend practices it, wrong reason. Don't practice it at all. You need to build your relationship with it. The day you build the relationship, it will become a fruitful for you. If you're doing it because somebody else doing it, don't do it. First, try to build your relationship, understand it. Then your relationship will be everlasting. Sometimes you start because your girlfriend practicing, you like yoga, you feel really good, you break up with her. Next thing, yoga also is gone out of your window because you only associate yoga with along with her. It's the wrong reason to practice yoga. Yourself, you creating a false reality. You creating a belief system. So practice yoga. Forget about understanding the God. Try to understand yourself, understand your senses, understand your uh, nature of the mind, understand the nature of the energy flow inside the body. And that only can create the foundation to understand the God or understand the energy. Till then, you're putting all the effort to understand the cosmic intelligence, cosmic creation, everything, but have not understood your own nature. You have not understood how much limitation you have through your senses. You have not developed the fully uh, withdrawal ability in your senses, and you want to understand the God, you want to understand the energy, is absolutely not possible. It's not possible. You can have ideas, you may read about it, but not possible. Okay. On that note, anybody else have a question or we end the Sangha today? Are you satisfied with your answer, Olive? That's again wrong intention, my friend. To hear my thoughts is a wrong intention. Hear me, not hear my thoughts. My thoughts are subject to change. If you ask me the same question 2 days later, I will answer to you based on your understanding, not based on my understanding. You're welcome, my friend. Joao, are you? Did you get the answer to your question? What you going to do now? You're going to be celibate or brahmachari? Okay, but that doesn't mean abuse brahmachari. Okay, I'm a brahmachari because you don't have to be worried about not brahmachari doesn't mean not having sex. You just go along with it. So again, understanding the nature. If your mind start indulging, if you become attached to the karma, attached to the energy of indulgence, you abstain from anything in life. So, Therese, did you get your answer? You can be atheist and practice yoga, and you will advance as much as anybody who believes in Hindu God will advance. I can promise you that much. When they come up, obviously they want to be in your life. When they come up, obviously the God wanted to be in your life. Otherwise, they will not bother you. You will be completely purely atheist. So deep down there inside, you are not atheist. God bothers you, all the demigods bothers you, the Hindu God bothers you. They come up into even your dreams. You dream about them. So obviously you are not atheist. They even come to you in your dreams, say, please embrace me. I am here to give you the energy and quality. Okay. Note, the day you stop fighting, you will have less problem. Fight is a mental fight is the problem. Defending for your belief is the fighting. Sanatana Dharma is not a religion. Remember that. The religion needs conversion. Sanatana Dharma does not need conversion. You just need to embrace. It teaches you to love. It teaches you to accept. It teaches you to open up to connectivity, inclusivity, not excluding people. It doesn't. It actually breaks all the wall inside you. That's what Sanatana Dharma means. Can you imagine, like in Hindu religion, there's how many deities are there, how many gods are there. You can pray to any god you like. Doesn't matter. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. Does anybody else have any questions, Michelle? Okay. Thanks, everyone. Namaste. Who is it? Michael, go ahead. Let me ask you a question, Michael. Whenever you indulge in the sexual activity, do you feel guilty afterward? If there's anyway, so that's your personal life. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, my friend.